So for the longest time, competitive level gaming monitors have been plagued by having to resort to using TN panels, which do have the best performance as far as response times and image clarity during really fast-paced gameplay, but they also bring forth the worst brightness ratings and color accuracy and viewing angles. And thankfully, it is no surprise that technology never ceases to progress. We are finally seeing IPS panels reaching blistering refresh rates at a decent price. And why is that important, you might ask? Well, the thing is IPS panels have the best color accuracy and brightness ratings and viewing angles, and it will always outshine its competition. If I put IPS panel next to a TN panel day and night, you will be able to tell the difference. And for a really long time, IPS panels haven't been able to achieve a true 1 millisecond gray to gray pixel response time, meaning that they could never be the fastest or most responsive. Also meaning that you would never see these on a gaming competition stage or in the hands of pro players, because they would want to use the true try-hard gear. And today we're going to be talking about why that may be a thing of the past. 240 Hz IPS 1 millisecond gaming monitors are here. The true question is whether or not the 1 millisecond overdrive mode creates any bad motion blur or ghosting. There are a lot of different options to choose from out there in the monitor world, but I'm going to be covering why I think the ViewSonic XG270 is special. I'm also going to compare this to some of its major competition as far as in the TN panel competitive gaming monitor world, and just give you my honest opinion on its price to performance. And a really big side note, this is the first monitor ever to be Blurbuster certified, meaning that it is tuned, calibrated, ready to go out of the box, certified by Blurbusters, and it's actually updatable as well. First off, let's start with the basics. It's 240 Hz, IPS, 27 inches, 1 millisecond response time, and this also has real G-Sync P version called the XG270 QG. Now that monitor caps at 165 Hz and it is a bit more in price. The XG270, aka the 1080p version, is what I consider to be ViewSonic stepping into the competitive scene. This thing is quite literally modeled after the BenQ XL2540 and XL2546, which is still the most used monitor in tournament events worldwide to date. Just like the BenQ, the ViewSonic Elite is equipped with an awesome stand, which is easy to assemble, full height, tilt, swivel, and pivot control, a built-in headphone holder that flips out, and the removable side shields, which are meant to help in isolating the on-screen gameplay and preventing distractions. We also have two sets of mouse bungees on both the left and right bottom sides of the monitor. They just flip out. And at the top of the stand, we have an integrated carrying handle for placement adjustments. BenQ, I know you're saying it. First, everyone's stealing all your mouse designs, and now this? Your competitive level XL2546, we reviewed this on the channel. This monitor stand pretty much copies it in almost every way, and also it does build off of it and make it unique and make it its own. So they did innovate and differentiate this stand for sure, and the design is different, but it is a near clone of the XL2546. It's also got RGB, a strip across the bottom and a hexagon in the back. There is some basic lighting control with some of the effects, as well as if you really want to make it your own, it is compatible with a lot of the major lighting effects softwares from motherboard manufacturers. I do opt to leave all of the RGB off. I just don't think anyone's going to be appreciating me gaming with, RGB going off on my monitor in my game room. I just don't think anyone's going to ever see it, but it is nice. I mean, who doesn't love some RGB? I am overall pleased with the experience. It's got a slim bezel, really clean stand, good cable management in the back, and a lot of functionality. So gameplay. How well does this monitor actually perform? How smooth is it for real? Well, I've been playing on that BenQ XL tournament monitor for months now. It's the same ballpark, 1080p, 1 milliseconds, 240 Hz, but it's a TN panel. And let me tell you, I was not let down at all by the ViewSonic Elite. I tested the hell out of this thing, and all gameplay was on our 2080 Ti. G-Sync on and off, different refresh rates, color setups, overdrive, and black equalizer settings, and across the board, I'm shocked. It's truly that good. I never thought high refresh rate IPS panels would ever feel as fast, clear, and responsive as TN panels, but it's really here. And the only real downsides that I can bring forward to you guys about this monitor performance-wise would have to be that in its stock settings, it's actually a 5 millisecond gray-to-gray pixel response time. And in order to reach 1 millisecond response times, they have to overdrive those pixels. This is not uncommon. There aren't a whole lot of performance downsides to overdrive as long as it's done right, and a lot of manufacturers are doing this right now with IPS panels to bring them up to 1 millisecond response times. But what are they sacrificing? Sadly, when you overclock or overdrive this bad boy to 1 milliseconds mode on 200 plus FPS, there is some slight ghosting and motion blur. Nothing too crazy, but it's not perfectly crystal clear. I personally found that my best settings and enjoyment for fast-paced gaming was on 200 FPS frames capped, no G-Sync, a little bit of black equalizer, and a slight saturation buff. And I could keep overclocking set to 1 millisecond mode and the picture is still crystal clear, no tearing, smooth as can be transitions, and the colors are just refreshing. Now, like I was saying earlier, this monitor being Blurbuster certified actually means that it's one of the few proud monitors that's updatable. So if there's ever future software that's gonna increase and better your quality of experience while using this, like some anti-strobing software to eliminate crosstalk and give you better image clarity, you can just update this bad boy and you're good to go. Some notable features for sure that I really like would have to be the black equalizer. I love this. It brightens the dark areas, doesn't overexpose or blow out the light ones. Crucial for killing pansy campers in dark corners. The built-in crosshair is definitely my favorite crosshair yet. 3 different options to choose from on the styles and colors. I go for a green dot. Super clean, minimal. It's bright enough to serve as a constant center of screen aiming assistant. The ports in the back include 2 HDMIs, 1 DisplayPort, which, yes, it comes with one and you will need to use it if you plan on catching that full 240 FPS. And we have several USB pass-throughs as well. Easy menu and navigation control is located underneath, as well as a programmable quick access button. All right, for the cons, there's only one real con that I have to go over, and that's that this monitor does suffer from a little bit, ever so slight, backlight bleed through. That means that when there's a really, really dark image on your screen and there's not a lot of light and bright colors, you will see some light creeping in from the sides. It's very, very slight and small, not too severe, but I had to note it. All right, now for the pros, and I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a pretty big list. I really love this stand, and I could use it no problem in my setup and not have to use a monitor arm, so that's definitely a monitor for photo editing or video editing or graphic design. And yeah, like I said, it's updatable. That's really important as well. It is VESA mount compatible in the back, so if you wanna get this off the stand and onto a nice monitor arm, you can do that, no problem. And this thing is Blurbuster's fine-tuned to perfection. I say that because I've used quite a few IPS panels and TN panels and VA panels, and we've reviewed a lot of them here on the channel. Some we have not. And this is ridiculously unprecedented smoothness, image clarity, and frame transitions that I haven't witnessed from other IPS panels. Honestly, I could keep going with the pros, but those are the ones that are important to me. So what's the bottom line? This thing retails for $430, and all of its competition within its price range, even if it's a little more expensive or a little bit cheaper, 240 Hz 1080p IPS panel, this one outperforms them all pretty much in functionality and raw performance. Now, if you were to compare this to top tier 240 Hz TN panels, competition monitors, this actually manages to beat a lot of them on price as well. And then there's probably the most important question of all. How does this stack up to those competition level 240 Hz TN panels? To keep things raw and just completely blunt, my BenQ Zowie competition level 240 Hz TN panel is smoother as far as image clarity and frame transitions at 240 Hz. So when I push this to its maximum level at 240 Hz, 1 millisecond response time, my TN panel does outperform it slightly. It's very, very slight, but it's there. The smoothness and the frame transitions are just slightly better on that TN panel. But this thing definitely has a sweet spot. I turned off G-Sync, I ran this right between 190 to 230 FPS, and it ran so smooth that it was so hard to differentiate whether or not I was on a TN panel on 1 millisecond response time or not, because it was on the level. It was that smooth and it performed that well, and it's a joy to experience it because the colors really do impact your gameplay that much. I can't stress it enough. When you play on a TN panel for so long and then step over to an IPS panel, it's so good. You feel like you can see so much more that you were missing previously in your gameplay experience. And I gotta say that after using this for an extended duration of time and reviewing it for you guys, that I feel like nothing was skimped out on this monitor, that they wanted to put forth the best possible product at the best price range, and ViewSonic really did a good job. And I feel like it's a steal at $430. It's that good. It feels like you're on competition level monitors. So I guess it's safe to say that IPS panels are getting tournament ready and that ViewSonic Elites are paving the way. Now, really quick, for all of you who are highly technologically inclined and you want to see all of the super specific details as far as brightness ratings and color accuracy and viewing angles and all of those really in-depth details, I don't like to go over all of that stuff because it feels like I'm just reading a stats chart. So I might as well link a statistics chart for you guys as far as the specs on this monitor in the description below. We do have a giveaway running for you guys on an FI Fine K678 USB microphone. We'll be giving this thing away live on Twitch. If you don't want to miss it, follow us on Twitch. That will be linked in the description below. Our very next live stream, we're going to be giving this bad boy away. That pretty much wraps it up for our review of the ViewSonic Elite XG270. This thing's an absolute monster, and if this review helped you in any way, shape, form, please don't forget to like the review and subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Notification Squad, you guys freaking rock, and if this review sucked, leave a dislike and tell us why. But anyways, I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Peace.
Oh.